So I had my first experience getting refused service at a bar in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I forgot about this until just as I was like going to pee.
What happened?
Yeah, so like it's weird because I've been living here 5 years, and you know, we've talked about this, you know, this thing before on the Trash Taste podcast, but I've never had it happen so blatant before and so openly, because normally, you know, sometimes you go to a restaurant and then they are very subtle about it, right?
Right.
They're like, oh, sorry, we fully booked, or we're like full, or members only, you know, something along those lines, you know. So that's kind of like what I've seen before and what I've experienced before. No, not really that big of a deal for me. But this time, so we went to a bar, and it wasn't like it was like in a remote area. It was in a pretty busy area with, you know, sometimes you get some like foreigners there and stuff like that. So I don't know if like the tourist thing has like just changed things up at all.
All right.
So I go in this bar. We speak, you know, we're speaking Japanese. It's me, Sydney, and a friend who's visiting from England, who is Vietnamese. So we go sit down. This bar is like completely empty, by the way, aside from like one other person in the corner. And they asked us for our order. And so I order nama, right? Which is like, you know, the on-tap beer, right?
Give me beer.
Just give me beer, baby. And they say they don't have any beer. And I'm like, I see a tap right there. That's when oh, this is a bit weird. That's like, okay, I'll just get a lemon sour then. You know, typical Japanese drink you can order at most bars. Sydney
everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. Sydney also orders a lemon sour, and then our friends, I don't know if this is weird to order at a bar, or if this was like or if this is like alerts or something. He orders an umeshu soda.
That's very, very normal.
Which
That's
I thought
normal.
was very, very normal.
I think every single bar will have an
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
100%.
But for some reason, when my friend ordered the umeshu soda, the lady looks at us and goes, "Are you Japanese?" Like, as like literally, like,
Okay.
like, are you like Nihonjin? Yeah. Like those words, and we're like, no, we're not. And then she says, sumimasen, kotowaru. And I was like,
What?
right. Which, if you don't know, or you haven't watched JoJo Part 4, it just means I refuse. You know?
Damn, you got Kishibe Rohan, bro.
I got Kishibe Rohan.
Damn.
And that, I was just like,
What?
damn, okay.
Wait, so are you telling me this bartender lady was gatekeeping you from having an umeshu soda because you weren't Japanese enough?
I don't know what the fuck the
fucking sounds
umeshu
like
soda. What? Because I was like, okay, if I order like a fucking margarita or something, or fucking tequila sunrise, you know,
She was like,
okay.
you must be this Japanese in order to order an umeshu soda.
So I was like, this is I'm not pretty chill. Even I was like, damn, that fucking hurts a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
that's just shit.
Yeah. And to be fair, to preface, this is my first ever time experiencing something like this after 5 years of living in Japan.
Oh, they kicked you out?
Huh?
And they kicked you out?
Yeah. They just basically they said that we refuse service, and they, you know, I am direct translating because they literally said, "Sumimasen kotowaru."
Yeah.
They literally said that to us. So we literally got refused service. And Sydney didn't do the very smart thing, and she's like, "I'm so angry. I'm gonna tweet about this. I'm gonna vent." And I'm like, "Sydney, don't do this. Don't do this."
Yeah.
And the Twitter response was like super fucking weird, as it always is going to be, as it always is going to be. So it's you know when something hits the algorithm, when you start seeing these really weird tweets. So she just wanted to vent, right? She just wanted to vent about this thing that happened in Japan, and then it got turned into this really weird Twitter tweet that people were using this tweet to be like, oh, you know, Japan based, or you were probably just overselling the story, and some people are like, wow, I knew it, every Japanese has turned racist or something like that. And it was like, I was like, what is happening? What is actually happening right now?
There are multiple takeaways you can take away, and those two are not
Yeah. Twitter is like the land of like where nuance is just not a thing.
Yeah.
It's
either it turned into like this tweet being like everyone has turned this tweet into like an agenda. And I was like, this is
it's the two extremes always.
This is super fucking weird.
Yeah, like those two sides of the coins will see that tweet and they'll feel validated in both their sides.
Yeah.
When it's like it's both of you are wrong and both of you are completely far
it's completely circumstantial.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be in a bad way this time around, but like that does not justify that like, oh yes, Japanese racist woman based. Like, what? No, that's shit.
Oh man. Yeah.
I will say though, I think I've been seeing a lot of people, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but been seeing a lot of people saying that Japan in a lot of ways has changed since like the over tourism thing. I would assume so. Considering in like a good way, in some good ways and some like very questionable ways. And that story is definitely the more like questionable one, where they're just like, I think some Japanese people have just gotten a little bit too comfortable with being racist, basically, and just like being unfair towards like someone who may be conceived as like a tourist or a foreigner. And it's just like, just because they're a foreigner doesn't mean they're a tourist, you know?
Yeah.
Just because they're a tourist doesn't mean they're shit customers.
And just, there are, it's unfortunate because like, I feel like a few bad eggs in like, you know, people being not respected, not respectful to Japanese culture, just with how many people are just coming in right now. It's kind of, it's just like a kind of a sucky situation where, you know, still hurts where that happened to me, but I kind of see where the build-up comes from and where the frustration comes from.
Give and take. Japan also definitely loves to scapegoat foreigners a lot too. I mean, when the rice shortage, recently Japan had a rice shortage, which is due to like a number of reasons, none of which are due to foreign tourists eating too much rice.
Yeah.
And there were articles where they were blaming tourists who were eating and taking all the glorious Japanese rice home with them because it's so good they had to take it home.
Right.
Taking our supply. The truth in the matter of the fact is that rice consumption in Japan has been going down year on year because people like pasta, people like bread. They're discovering these new foods that are amazing because pasta is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And so Japan has too much capacity to make rice, and the government subsidizes these farmers to not grow rice because they want rice prices to remain pretty stable.
Yeah.
So they have this problem where they have the ability to make way too much rice, so it's so heavily regulated on how much rice is being made. And so that's why the rice shortage happened. And because there was obviously during the typhoon, there was a slight dip in the production and then panic buying, which caused the shortage. Nothing at all to do with tourists. At all, not even remotely. So why did they come up with this solution, and why were they so willing to say it publicly?
Because again, it's as you said, it's like it's an easy scapegoat, especially for a lot of people who don't know any better, and people who are like, oh, let's just take this simplest solution to try and like sidestep the actual problem at hand. It's such a Japanese thing to do.
I love blaming tourists for shit more than anyone, but sometimes it's really annoying. I'm like, come on, can we actually like just blame them when they do something shit?
Yeah. Can we actually like get to the root of the problem instead of being openly racist?
Like this is crazy. Like how the hell this was allowed to be like a public statement? Is bewildering. There was some other shortages as well. They also blamed on foreigners, which again also had nothing. Cheese. Japan's cheese shortage apparently was foreigners. I'm like, okay, now that's.
I swear every
now
week.
Your rice, I could understand why you would want to make a racist remark. Your cheese?
Yeah.
You think we're stealing your cheese?
Yeah. It's like your cheese isn't even that good,
bro.
Ain't no one taking your mid-ass cheese.
I think so, at least. I can't remember. But
yeah. I mean, even if there was a cheese shortage, to blame it on foreigners is... I swear, like, recently, every week, there's, like, a new article. Like, Japan has a potato shortage now. They have a... I mean, I think they did have a potato shortage, didn't they, at one point? I just randomly threw that out, but I think we actually did have a potato shortage at one point.
I think that's due to the fact that, like, a lot of Japanese products are only allowed to be made with Japanese potatoes, I think.
Right.
Like, I think the... crisps have to be made with Japanese potatoes, I think, or they just like to.
I don't know.
Because I remember pizza potato was gone for a long time.
Yeah, well, McDonald's was like running into the problem of like not enough fries, right? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I remember this article. Did they blame this on the foreigners?
No fries in McDonald's.
Let me guess. Did they also blame this on foreigners just love McDonald's fries?
Well, we do. Let's
I mean,
be real.
Oh, I
Joe.
think that's imports that when something happens. Those are imported from America.
Right.
I don't think McDonald's has a. We must use.
We only use Japanese potatoes.
I think they use whatever fucking works and whatever's cheap.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. But then we went to another bar after that. I met with you guys after. You didn't stop you guys from having a good time.
Nah, we still had a good time. It was like just a small speck on a wider, great all-around night. And
did your friend manage to get the umeshu soda in the end?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know who didn't refuse us? Girls' boss.
Yeah, well, of course.
So I had another dinner thing, and I was like, hey, I'll come hang out with you guys when I'm done.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you guys drinking? And they were like, oh, same girls' bar as last time. Last time being the one that
you scammed me out of,
I got scammed as well.
Yeah.
We both got scammed.
Yeah.
You more so. But I was like, I don't want to go back to that bar. One, because they scammed the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
It was way too expensive.
They didn't scam the fuck out of us.
You
keep saying they scammed the fuck out of us. All they did was ask Connor specifically, can we have a drink? Which means, can you buy us a drink? And Connor just doesn't know how to say no.
Okay.
He just doesn't know how to say no.
That is true. However, their prices per drink were ridiculous.
But you could have said
girls
no.
bar. You could just say no.
So ultimately, I was the one who got scammed the most.
Yeah.
Is it a scam if you just consent to the scam? There's no.
To be fair, we don't know. It is complete fucking roulette. We don't know how much they're charging for a drink.
No, but girls' bars is usually like fucking 5-10 times the price of a regular drink.
I know.
Here's the thing. He didn't buy a drink for just one girl. He bought a drink for like all of the girls.
Oh, this motherfucker's trying to impress.
No.
Right?
That is not true. Because I'm sitting there and I'm really awkward because like they're just like staring at us. And I'm like, please stop staring at me. Just take a drink and leave me alone.
I don't know, man. That 5-second footage you took said otherwise. You were just can't play on
that was when Garn egged me on. So that was, But then, okay, so
there's always a caveat.
There is a caveat. I'm full of excuses.
Yeah.
We went to another bar and I showed up and I was like, I don't want to go back to the same bar because they're going to rinse me again.
Yeah.
And so we went to this other bar. It was so weird.
Yeah.
We go in and it's just like strange vibe. You can tell that they didn't want us there initially.
Yeah.
They were very much like, did you come to the wrong bar? Even like two dudes sitting there like with like a grin on their face. These two businessmen. They were like, I think you found the wrong bar, guys.
Right.
And of course, Sydney's like fucking like a bulldozer. Like, I didn't find the wrong bar. I'm right where I want to be. Sits down. I'm like, all right, okay. And then I was sitting there and I saw the price. I was like, how much? How much do you think that 40 minutes of all you can drink cost?
40 minutes of all you can drink. And this per person?
Per person.
Okay. Well, I've never actually gone to a girls' bar before, so I don't know. But just off the top of my head, maybe, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000?
It was like 4,500 or 5,000.
It's 4,200, I think.
Okay,
that's fucked.
For 40 minutes.
Yeah, because at an izakaya, you can get like 2 hours, or you can drink for maybe like 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the nice round? Like I think we all understood as a human.
Why
race.
40 minutes?
Yeah, it's 30 or 60.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah.
We have never been into this 40 minutes nonsense.
Yeah.
Right. Just pick 30 or 60.
Yeah, I don't have
adjust the price
I
accordingly.
don't have a 40-minute internal clock. That's not how that works.
But this time I actually didn't buy them. I didn't buy them drinks.
Right.
I was like,
You learn.
I was like,
Because you're
I'm
sober this time as well.
Yeah.
And it was horrible because I just had to like. It's a terrible vibe if you're not buying drinks. By the way.
Yeah.
Because you literally, they're standing like right here, and you're drinking your drink, and you're like, don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. Because if you look up, they're gonna look at you like. Where's the drink? You know,
Then you can just be like, who?
and I feel like I'm like, is everyone else just like immune to this cringe? Because I'm looking and everyone.
Well, why do you think I've never been to a girls' bar?
I know.
Because
For me,
I listen to these stories and I'm like, that doesn't sound fun.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
overpriced and it doesn't sound fun. It's like, why would you go?
So like I'll be like watching, like our British friend will be there, and I'm like, yeah, you don't see like just waiting for you to offer a drink. I feel like he's immune to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you don't sense the awkwardness.
Yeah.
And that's why I buy drinks. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Leave me alone for 5 minutes. Christ.
Yeah. No, I've never been enticed to go into those places.
That's what makes you just like not immune to these scams.
No,
right?
no, I know. Because the awkwardness is killing me.
So when they're like, when they figured out, he just says yes to every time they ask. all these girls just crowd round. It's like a queue.
It's like that. It's like that meme with that guy being like, "I'll pay you $100 to fuck off."
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, please leave me alone. Like I don't mind a little bit of chit chatter, and some of it can be fun depending on the vibe.
Yeah.
But when I know that I'm getting rinsed just to sit down, and then I'm gonna get a doubly rinsed just to like give you a drink and maybe like make small talk, I'm like.
Also, like I've always found it weird. It's just like these girls' intentions. You know? Like these girls' intentions isn't to have a fucking nice chat with you. It's to rinse you out of a fucking overpriced drink for like 5 minutes.
And look,
then pretend like you're important.
I'm sure there's a world where those two things can overlap, where they want to get the money and like because they're just working.
I mean, if you're like a regular there, you know, and you've known them personally, maybe.
But this girl I went to also was definitely not like a double one.
No, it definitely was.
It was like more of a. It was. They were all wearing like Virgin Killer sweaters.
Yeah, the Virgin Killer sweaters. And I was like, I feel uncomfortable here.
But like,
that was,
I don't know. What is this, 2017?
I know, right?
I don't know how Sydney is immune to this. Sydney feels like no shame and is like just able to have a good time. And I'm like, oh God. And these two gross businessmen next to me. The woman like leans over to write the check and like, I guess like her boob pops out or something. Right. And these two like 50-year-old men are like, right, you're looking at this? You're looking at this? And I'm like, this is so gross. I'm losing my mind. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
God
damn. As someone who's been...
Are we done? But then the next part was much better.
Yeah, as someone who's been dragged to many girls' bars, going out with Sydney, the best ones are the ones that like just aren't lewd.
Yeah. Because the second one we went to was chill.
Yeah. Because there are some ones where they do just like Sydney went to a bar where it's like the worst girls' bar, where it's just like all of these girls that are working there, they just like they want to have a job where they can just like be themselves and just have a chat. And the girls' bars were just ended up being the perfect job for them. Part of the recruitment process was they needed to provide a picture of them getting blackout drunk and just having like a shivia meltdown.
Damn.
That was part of like the job recruitment process.
Fair enough.
Because they, talking to them, they were like, yeah, office jobs just like weren't for us. We just wanted to have a job where we could just,
Just want to get lit.
Yeah. We just didn't want to be reserved. We just wanted to be ourselves. And it was just like, it was a good vibe because you could tell there were just people who just loved their jobs.
Honestly, for a country that kills individuality, we need more places like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, the second one I went to was great. It was like they were all, it was 2,000 yen for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't know why 40 minutes again.
Still a little bit overpriced, but better than the last one.
But I mean, like for that, it's not bad. They weren't pressuring us all the time to buy them drinks. Yeah. They're like, hey, can we have a drink?
Because it's the lewd ones where they pressure you, where they like wear a costume.
They were all
like
really like nicely dressed, and we walked in. These two businessmen were like, "Yo, what are you guys doing here?" I was like, and then I told him I was from UK. He's like, "Football." I was like, "Yes,
football."
Much better vibes. Yeah, so much better, and it's like good.